2.3 notes, Paul.
2.3 notes, Paul.
Yes.
We're trouble together.
Your mom just heard that. Hi, Mom. Hi, Cindy.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Cindy.
Oh, this is only the beginning.
All right, let's go. I'm ready when you are. I'm ready. Okay. How do we find the zeros of any function, really? Zero for what? Why? Okay. So set it equal to 0, and then I heard the F words. Okay. So we make factor of 5x out. And then it'll factor once more. Go ahead and factor what's in parentheses one more time. Bailey would be it for factors. Good. All right. So how many zeros are we going to get? 3. Good. You didn't forget about 0, right? X equals 0 will be 1. X equals 2 and negative 1. And just don't forget, if there's an X out front, that's going to also produce a 0 as well when you set it to 0. All right, next we're going to graph by hand. If I say the word multiplicity, does that ring any bells?
No.
Yeah. Did you hear Kendall?
No.
Say it again.
It's like the exponent, like how I is raised.
Mm-hmm. So, exactly. All it is, to have a factor, you just look at that power. That's the multiplicity. And depending if it's odd or even, it tells you what it does at the 0. So it can cross through at the 0, right? Or it can touch. I'll draw a picture. So when it's odd, the graph crosses.
My paper has 2 staples in it.
Oh,
And
I can't turn the pages.
just remember it did that, I'm sure.
okay. So
Honestly, it would be that
Okay.
nice if it was.
you have C here. So crosses, guys, this means it passes through the x-axis.
I don't know.
Touches means it's gonna like touch and come back down, or touch and come back up. Okay. So we're gonna sketch without a calculator, okay, by finding the zeros and other things. So looking at that, since it's factored, what are the zeros? -2 and 1. So x equals -2. Next to it, I'm going to write the multiplicity. So what's the multiplicity of -2?
Oh my god. The calories are getting worse.
Does it touch or cross at -1?
Fire.
Crosses because the multiplicity is odd and it's going to cross. So cross. What's the multiplicity of 1? 2? Touch or cross? Okay. Before doing behavior, I'm going to add one more thing. I want to find the y-intercept. What do we do to find the y-intercept? Good, thanks, Logan. 0 for x, right? So if I put a 0 here, that's just going to be 2 cubed. So I'm going to have 1/2 times 2 cubed times a 0 here would just be -1 squared. Doing right? And then we'll just compute it. So -2 cubed is what? 8 times 1/2, 4, and then this is a 1. So we get 4. So we now have the point 0, 4. Then end behavior is what we talked about yesterday. Imagine multiplying all that out, yeah? Imagine it, Bree. What would the biggest power be? What?
Multiply the x's x cubed and then x.
Perfect, yes. So this thing behaves like 1/2 x to the 5th plus a bunch of other terms that we don't care about. So do you remember, let's do the word part first. It's odd with a positive leading coefficient. So what's it going to do over here? Down, and over here? Up. Down. So let's write that in symbols. So down would be -infinity. And then the up portion there is infinity. So believe it or not, we have everything we need to sketch.
You only multiply the powers of the function and find the behavior.
Mm-hmm.
And for everything else, you just take the first term for the letters power.
Well, the problem was this one wasn't multiplied out for us. Like this.
Will you go back to the end behavior part? That was the one thing.
Yeah, just 1 second. So a problem like this, if I were to give you that to sketch, let's just say, I would not give it to you in that form to sketch, because without a calculator, because you'd have to factor it, and that's going to be really hard. It may not even factor. I will give it to you factored. You know what I mean? Because the whole point is that you can easily see what the zeros are. Here. I don't know if that helped or not, but you're looking at the leading term, and either it's factored or it's not factored. And when it's factored, you just do that trick. It's not really a trick either. Yeah. If any of you actually multiply all that out on the test, I'm going to be very upset with you. Okay? Don't do that. Okay. Thank you. Okay, are we ready to graph? Does all that make sense?
Got it all, Paul?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
Okay.
Are you just saying?
Yeah.
Is the end behavior bothering you still, Paul?
No, I'm fine.
I don't use, so like, behavior, you have to multiply, is it only multiplying the powers for the end behavior?
The end behavior, you only need the leading term. The leading term drives the whole thing. Guys, stop talking.
So what? Well, what?
So the leading term of this polynomial is this. I don't care about any of the other terms. So like when we did this one back here, we only looked at that. Okay. When we did this one, We only looked at what the leading term would be if we multiplied it out, but we didn't multiply it out.
Okay, like, I get how you know, like, what way the arrows are going from there, but like, I don't understand, like, the to infinity, like, how you got that from there.
So down corresponds to negative infinity. Up corresponds to infinity.
Okay,
This is the left, so this signifies going to the left. When it goes left, it goes down. When it goes right, it goes up.
okay.
So maybe it would help you to put the words here, left
So what?
and down.
I know that, but how do we find it?
How to find what it's
How do
doing.
we find the end behavior?
So that table that we did yesterday, can you guys flip to that table in your notes?
What you did with your pond, right?
Yeah.
What's that?
What you did with the pond, right?
Yeah, the slide after that, this slide.
They get to that one.
Okay.
That first.
So this,
Right here, right here.
oh, I didn't know it's.
So we had an odd degree, positive degree, so
Oh, that's what we do?
and that's what this was all about. Odd and positive. See how that all goes together?
Straight.
Yeah.
All right, let's graph it. First thing you do is graph the zeros. So our zeros are -2 and +1.
That's why I looked back like that.
Right here.
Then this is where these come into play, the down up thing. Actually, let me grab the line check first. 0, 4. There's the 3 points we have. Then you use the down up thing. So your leftmost zero, has a down arrow. Your rightmost zero has an up arrow. And then it kind of all falls together. At -2, it crosses through. Never mind. So it has to cross through, right? It's gonna have to go through that point.
What's going on here?
We wrote down that at -2 it crosses. So it
How do you know
crosses
that?
through. At 1 it touches. So do you see how it's gonna have to happen? It's gonna
How do we know all of this though?
See the stuff at the top?
Oh.
It's on your paper too, Paul.
Okay.
I'm such an idiot. I'm such a moron. I deserve to be punished.
All right, good.
Yes, these slaps the face when one punch
Okay.
no more.
Don't worry, we'll practice more before Friday. All right, next. Just a sketch, doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, so find a cubic, Polly. If I have 5 as a 0, what factor did that come from? What's that? Oh, hold on. X minus 5. Okay. Right, you just did the opposite sign of what the number is. If -√5 is a factor, we would have x plus √5. And then if √5 is a factor, we would have x minus √5. Then we're just gonna multiply it out. So, take my advice. See these guys? They're opposite, they're called conjugate. So x times x, that's x squared. And then do you see how this is, really it's a difference of square root, right? So would you agree that this would give you a negative and a positive of the same term? So that's gone. And then what's √5 times itself? 5. So we have minus 5. See how that was nice? If you would have tried to pair these two, it wouldn't have been so nice. All right. And then we're just going to FOIL one more time.
Is that an S or a 5?
Those are all 5s.
Because she didn't write it like a 5, she wrote it like an S, and it looks like an S. No, I'm not. I think she has beautiful handwriting.
I'll own up to it.
I
They
never-
look like S's.
I never critiqued your handwriting once.
Well, good.
That was a compliment.
forget.
That was a compliment.
Okay, grab your calculators.
That wasn't a critique. That was.
By the way, I'm running low on calculators.
I have one here.
When test day comes, do your best. Especially since it's not gonna be your Friday. Borrow one from a friend that day. He should have more to stand out for one. All right. Do you remember how to get stat? Or no, I just gave it away. Remember how to get your list? Stat. Oh my gosh. Okay. So stat. Woo. And then what? Edit. Okay, go ahead and enter. The X's in L1, the Y's in L2.
Yeah, I kind like that always. I just have a cold, and I had asthma, so.
Yes.
It sounds.
No, I think you were wrong. We were ready to be shared. I was like, really
She's got a spud.
She's like, all right, you there? Okay. So, oh, and you know, I forgot to mention. So what we're doing, so you know how you have 2 points? You can make a line through them? You know that, right? If you have 3 points, what could you make through them? Well, a function.
I'll look to you.
Triangle function. 2 points, we can make a line. 3 points, you can make a. 4 points, we can make a cubic. So if you have so the degree, so if you want a 4th degree, you need 5 points. If you want a 6th degree, you need 7 points. Okay? So it's always 1 more than the degree. That's what we're doing here. So go to, so put out of there. Go to second y equals. And we're going to turn our plot on. So plot number 1, go ahead and turn that on. And then, yeah, do a zoom 9, go ahead. Zoom 9. Okay. So then what we're going to let the calculator do for us is find the cubic that goes through those 4 points. Okay? Yeah. So, do we all have the graph? Okay, put out of there. And go to stat again. And calc this time. And we want cubic regression, number 6. And I'll write these steps down for you in a minute. 6. Okay, don't press calculate yet. I'm gonna show you one more thing that you haven't done before. Did you ever notice it says store regression equation? Okay, the older ones don't. So I can show you a different way to do it. Newer ones, follow my instructions here. I would like, you know how when it spits out this equation, wouldn't it be nice if I could just put it into Y1 for you? So that's what we can do. So go to vars.
Bars.
Vars stands for variables. Y vars.
Should I still do that? Or like, will it still work?
Do you have a spot to store it? No, I'll show you. Y vars function. Y1.
That's how the older ones work.
Okay, and then hit calculate.
So we hit function. For under bars, we hit function.
Function. And then Y1.
Thank you.
Go ahead and hit calculate. Now, we'll write that down in a second, but when you hit graph now, for most of us, it's going to have the curve. It's going to put the curve in there that goes through those 4 points.
We're gonna graph it.
Okay.
Isn't
Isn't that cool? And what's nice is it goes through exactly all 4. Okay. Old calculators, here's how you would have to do that. Go to Y equals. Who am I talking to, just so I know? Kate. Okay, so go to Y equals. Go back to, hold on, before I do this, let me make sure. Okay, yeah. Go back to bars. Go down to statistics. Go over to EQ, which stands for equation. And number 1 is regression equation, and it's going to put it into Y1 for you there. Oops, sorry.
It's an empty.
Well, sorry, you had to be, were you in Y1 when you started? If you were in Y1, it will. That, no, not that. Bars. Okay. Bars. Statistics. Equation. Regression equation. And then it will go. Well, have you calculated it? Oh, you never calculated it. So you have to stat. Do that. Do that, and then. Okay, write down the equation. I'm just going to round them to 3 decimals.
What else? Please pull that up again.
Well, I have to go back and forth for myself. It'll be okay. All right, it'd be wise to maybe write down the calculator steps. So stat, edit, that was how we stored the data. And then we did, I don't think on the homework I actually asked you to like do the graph and all that. That was kind of for fun. So stat edit would put your list in, and then stat calc 6 will get you the equation.
Are we getting the study guide tomorrow?
You're getting it today.
My writing is so.
And you're gonna have time today to work on it. Alright, all good on that? We got our steps written down? Alright, next, we're almost done.
Next. Next.
Okay, we have a theorem. Anytime you get a theorem in math, that's pretty important, right? Okay. Let's dissect it and draw a graph that goes with it. So, A and B are real numbers. A is less than B. Okay, draw a graph. And draw A less than B. We also know that the function is continuous, guys. Okay. All right, f of A and f of B have opposite signs. What does that mean? One's negative, one's positive. So let's just make one negative. Let's make f of A negative. And let's make f of B positive. Now, the key word we haven't used yet is it's continuous, right? So don't I have to connect A and B? So in doing that, the graph has to do what between A and B? Has to cross the x-axis, at least one time, right? So you can be as simple or as creative as you want. So it can cross like that, and you have that. Or it could cross like that. You know what I mean? But there's guaranteed that there's one place in there where it equals 0. So I'm not going to be super crazy. I'm going to do that.
Try and make it go like around the 0, like make a break in it or something.
You can't because it's continuous.
Oh, then make it go around the 0.
Then it won't be a function. Okay? Let's not get clever. We have to
You
keep it a
use
function.
fake math to make it go around the 0. Like, you know, fake news, they have fake math now. They use it to prove, they use it to support the alternative facts. You're on Fox News.
Okay, so do we get the theorem? Okay, so all you have to do then when I give you a problem like this is you
There, I
calculate,
get it.
you're given a function, so this would be a no calculated problem, because otherwise it would be pointless to ask you this. So, you have a function. We want to see if there's a 0 between -1 and 0. So all you have to do is calculate f of -1. So there's two questions here. -1 and 0, 2 and 3. F of -1, let's plug -1 in.
Why are you writing out life?
What's -1 cubed? Plus negative. Plus -2. -3 plus 1. -2. Okay. What's f of 0? 1. 0, 0, 1. Okay, do they have opposite signs?
Yep.
Yeah.
So at least 1 0 is guaranteed, right? So let's write our conclusion.
All my rating is just blending together.
Since f of -1 and f of 0 have opposite signs,
Oh God, oh God.
the IVT guarantees at least 1 0 between x equals -1 and 0. Now, you can be real wise about the other question. Why is it no?
It's possibly a negative.
Yeah, 2 and 3 are both positive, right? Are we listening? All the coefficients are positive. So f of 2 and f of 3 both have to be positive. Okay, so there's no guaranteed value here. F of 2 greater than 0, f of 3 greater than 0. No 0 guaranteed between x equals 2 and 3.
Why is that? Why is
Is
that?
that an ampersand in between negative 1 and 0?
I didn't know. So why wouldn't it be a 0?
Because they don't have opposite signs.
No. Oh, because they would both be.
They're both up here. Now, it doesn't mean that it can't do this, but by this theorem, it's not there. Okay. I think you have, oh, sorry, an ampersand? Yeah, that's an and, I guess.
My mom cut my nail too short.
Okay, I want to do one more thing before I give you a review. You have a blank box underneath there, yes?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to practice one type of problem that we'll keep practicing through the week. And it's this, real quick. So this is a 2.1 review question.
Oh, that's highlight. Oh, but what don't you have? I missed an entire problem because we were talking about Hodikiam.
No.
I'll come back to it, but write this one down. Okay, so you have one of these on your review, and a bunch of people were asking me in the first class, so I thought we'd do one. Do you remember the first step? Oh, I should say 5. So I don't want you to use negative b over 2a here. I want you to come square. Okay, so the first step is factoring out that 4 only from the first 2 terms.
I love old people.
Does that have to do with anything?
Okay, so you factored the 4 out from the first 2 terms. You remember this?
I'm trying to get all this.
Leave space. The 3 stays out, and then you leave a little.
I'm sorry.
Do you remember what to do with this 5? Take half. And I made it not a even number on purpose, okay?
Divide by 2 square.
Divided by 2. So here's what I want you to do. I literally, because you will not have a calculator on this problem, okay? I literally just want you to put 5 over 2, okay? That's half of it. Then you just think that you're going to square it, okay? So that's 25 over 4, right? Okay. So that's what's going here. Good so far? But what did we really just add here? What's 4 times 25 over 4? 25. So you can't just randomly add a 25, right? You have to compensate and do the opposite so that you're really adding a 0. So to compensate, you subtract 25. And then you factor. And I don't know if you remember from Algebra 2, but that half number is actually really important. That's always what goes into your factor right here. So I promise you, assuming you did that right, this number, half number, always goes here. Oh my. And then 3 minus 25 is minus 22. Questions up to there? Once it's in that form then, can you tell me what the vertex is? 5 halves? So remember, this makes it go left, so it's negative 5 halves. This makes it go down, so negative 4. Okay, we'll keep practicing that, but I wanted you to see one more.
Oh, I've got an hour left.
Okay. Couple things. You have many things to work on today. Two homework, 3 homework, and the review that I'm gonna pass out. Okay?
No.
Please, before you turn anything in, check the answer keys. I've got them all up here, and you can pull them up on your laptops, okay? I'm gonna grade your 2-1 homework and give it back, so you have that tonight. And then here's your review. When you get the review, this test is pretty much all no calculator, except for number 9. It's written on here, okay? But just make sure you're not doing things with the calculator that's not supposed to be.
Right? So, right? Yeah. Put this back. Here's 2, 3. You want to go back and work on 2, 2? Or stay on 2? What do you want to do? And here's your review.
That, so test is Friday.
Lauren did those out. Are you serious? I have to go to
What do you choose to work on? What do you choose to work on?
Oh, I'm just waiting to know what I choose to work on now. 2.2.
There's 2.2.
Here's the slide.
Oh, there's a slide that you missed.
Okay, yeah, I'm just worried about the
No, I've heard about that.
Yeah, the scarf. Different packet, Mom.
She has that up here. Come on.
Okay, I'm searching for
There you go. Bring down.
Is it anywhere? Just like try cooking with the menu.
You know,
We're not talking about the three
I hate top 40 music. Everything. Like, I saw a video on.
Oh, you done?
Yes.
Okay.
I saw a
Tell
video.
her you're done.
Oh, I'm done.
Okay, now, what are you going to
Big
do?
call.
Can I call you Mikey? It's like, this is Mikey, it's Mike.
I think there's something to tell you.
No. Oh, yeah, you can. You can call me anything you want.
Okay, let's go. Tell me about.
I don't know.
I know. What are you going to work on? I'm getting up. What are you trying to work on? Tell me. Here's your pencil.
Why do you hate me?
Too fast.
I want to hear and see focus in this room. You have one mod, that is goals.
Something bad happened.
She said that is gold.
It's goals.
That is goals.
Your goals are to focus. The goal is to focus.
That is gold.
What was that book?
Tony Boy.
Who is it?
Oh my God. I want to buy. I'm running out of lead and I can't get the stuff out.
Here, give it to me. There was stuff, there was no stuff.
Well, there is now. There's stuff.
Okay, use that pencil.
I'm glad there was no one in Grouse's room.
Why?
Here, at all.
Because you what?
She's talking.
So it's just a habit to walk in there.
Oh, I did it. I was like, oh, no. And it's the same thing. I went into it, but for a different reason, because he didn't know where it was going.
Who's that minute? Who was on the top?
Oh,
Yeah, you know what they
interrupting
could have
again.
used the money they spent on the wellness center for?
What's that?
Electric pencil sharpeners in every room. Which would you want more, that or a wellness center
Well,
that we're not gonna use?
Give him help, Paul.
I brought it up here, so. Yeah, all the right way.
Okay.
Hello.
How are you?
Doing okay, thanks.